Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about the case itself. We're back again. We're still alive. We are going through Ramsipiri, you know.
How do you
shall we say drug.
How do
I feel? I feel like he's wasting time. I feel like he should be sitting down. That's how I feel. I feel like he's giving a lot away instead of taking a lot away from the current witness. There is no need to scrutinize Gininda like that if you have people that you're still going to be calling. I'm saying that because he's failing to confine him to one answer or something similar to that. So I feel like it should have been done by now. But then I cannot shake the feeling of what you just told me and what I also feel, which is maybe the others are not prepared that much. They need more time. So he's buying them time. By so doing, is also giving the hand out and showing exactly what is in that palm of the hand that is not supposed to happen. That's a problem because then you're playing exactly in the state's hand. The name calling, the name dropping of people that are still going to be coming here to debunk the theory of the state, I don't feel like they are necessary that much, considering the fact that we have seen, or we seem to have, a certain pattern in this case where people are disappearing, more so after giving evidence in the form of an affidavit or whatsoever, and then they sort of, God remembers them. I would like to put it like that. And then that is later used by the states, in my opinion, to solidify the case. And Ramsipiri is really assisting them in bringing everything that they couldn't put on record and putting it on record, like the statement of Absalom. I don't think, and in fact, what it does, it goes about it by reading the whole statement.
I was shocked.
Affidavit, and the judge was actually the judge cautioned him. It was like, where are you going with this? On the other one where he was trying to read everything, and he still continued with that line of question. And I'm worried. I'm like, why not just sit this one out? Because it seems it's not your game. It's not your thing, this one. Why not sit it out? You know, why not leave it out and you'll come back on the next one? But it seems as if you're giving a lot away than you are taking. I feel like they are making you. I don't know. You know, abanye bathi ijuju khona emhlabeni. Those who understand, but it seems as if there's a lot.
There's African chemistry in that court.
You cannot write it off. And if you are weak.
From the Ramsipiri that cross-examined Colonel Mangena to this one, it's almost like he went back to default settings. He went back to the original timid, I don't want to offend anybody. Ramsipiri. Accused number 2, Bangani Ntanzi's life is on the line. You cannot be wondering to be treading carefully, not wanting to step on toes, being super careful when it comes to someone who's about to lose his whole life. And your client is the one who they are going after with the most vigor.
And my feeling is that, that's how I feel the whole day as I go through this evidence and re-looking at it. It still gives me one answer, that the person who's standing up to cross-examine is supposed to be sitting down right now. And that's a feeling I have. But unfortunately,
there's nothing really wrong with his questions. What is wrong is with him letting Gininda go on and on and on and on and on and on, up until he now gets out stuff that shouldn't even
up until he brings information that is not supposed to be on the record and put it on the record, and
he's failing
then
to
you
stop him.
play on that, and you really are helping the states, in my opinion. Bring all these statements that they could not do. I mean, people are still alive in some of those statements. Not actually all of these statements. Most people are alive and kicking, and the state decide not to call them. And you go straight and you read everything on record. Why not just read a certain part and leave it for that person to come and introduce this whole evidence? You are just introducing the whole evidence for the state, in my opinion. So it seems, and I'm worried about that. I'm worried about how you are going about this whole thing. I know maybe it's necessary, and that's how normal courts normally run, but we are not in a normal world. For me, I don't
That's
feel
not a normal
we are at the normal world. So we need to behave as such, and I mean, you cannot beat people in a certain game that is being played by the same court, and you are playing nice, and they are playing nasty, in my opinion, and you are playing nice. I don't see you winning. I don't see you winning. You know, it's like a sick person
And someone
who's
said
refusing
yesterday,
medication. Yeah.
and I ignored the comment. I was like, maybe it was a rough start, it was a rough day, but at that point, that person was onto something. They were like, Ramasipil is acting like the state advocate.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel today, even more. I was like, I mean, are we still playing for the defense, or we are cruising nicely as the states in a face of wearing the face of a defense? Is that so? Because no man. I know many people say, hey, we normally like him for that, saying he does open, but I don't think we need him to do that this time. I think everyone needs to come with a proper plan to deal with the situation at hand, and Ramsey is opening a lot of pockets, a lot of them. I don't know who's gonna close them, because he's opening them. So it's like you are inflicting pain on yourself.
Do you think he's doing it on purpose, or he's just not prepared?
I think he's not prepared. I think when it comes to such evidence, it's not his terrain. When it comes to such resistance people, and people who deviate a lot, he does not know how to he does not know how to deal with. I don't think it's his strategy. And I'm worried about this. And then you look at the team that they have. There's still Ngumalo to come, who also has a bit of elements of Ramsey. Yes, Ngumalo's line of questionings are short and straight to the point, but is a bit apologetic, timid. That's a problem. So I would rather have them finish. I know many people like to have Mnisi, but in all honest, I would rather have all these people finish. And then I remain with people who have strong personality. Not that they are better, some of them, to Ngumalo, but I'm looking at that issue of
brave.
Bravery is the problem. I'm looking at that issue of Sosobala that was raised there. There are things that you cannot smile on. In that court, they're too cheap. Man.
You should be serious. I'm like,
wasting my time. I mean,
what are you talking
Gininda
about?
is telling you are a neighbor of Sosobala. You find that fine. What is fine about? How are you gonna deal with him?
Neighbor of Sosobala? In what way? What are you talking about, huh? Like, you should just sometimes just not correspond or entertain these jokes.
I don't know, man. I feel like we're in for the long one. Very long one.
Yeah, Nami today, my energy just dropped. I was like, I'm watching Ramasipili, but I'm not happy.
No, I was not. I was also not.
I feel like
I
he's
went
opening
back.
a lot of unattended issues by the state, and there's probably a reason why they didn't attend to them, but now you're giving them an opportunity to bring them to the surface via the corners. And I don't know how I feel about that, because if it was paramount, they would have addressed it in the examination in chief, but they did not. There's a reason why. Why can't you leave it alone? Especially the Absalom Zungu
Yes, it
statement.
weakens
Leave it alone.
weakens their defense. It does if you know how to do it. The people that they did not bring, if you know how to play your game, I feel like there's more meat that will still come. You don't need to rush in pinning everything
so it's
to
almost like
one
he
man.
wants to address everything with his client alone. There's
But
so
some
much.
of these questions you could actually ask to people who are said to be owners of their statements. That's my feeling. But you are just asking Gininda. Why should you ask Gininda about each and every statement? I mean, considering that his interpretation is just off pitch, in my opinion. Most things are just... And I asked that question yesterday about Longwe being the first... I thought he was asking it. And then somehow it changed to, did they say they saw anyone long when it was, I was like, what, where are you going? Where are you going? What do you want with that?
I'm done.
Usanjane, asiqhubekeni.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another deliberation on the Senzo Meyiwa Trial. Every day, when court resumes the High Court in Pretoria regarding the Senzo Meyiwa Trial on Mzansi Reality, we cover it and we talk about what happened in the court proceedings. So court started with Advocate Baloyi saying that there was no interpreter today. So Jonas arrived a little bit late. Apparently was in another court interpreting there, and they couldn't find another interpreter who could stand in for him. So Advocate Judge Baloyi started off by saying that yesterday when they adjourned, there was a debate on whether Mr. Ramasipili can use the photos from the second docket and whether they had a conference with the defense. And Mr. Ramasipili indicated that he will no longer use the photos. Baloyi said that he wanted to cite a warning to his colleagues regarding the use of statements either in 636 or 375. Advocate Baloyi asked the defense not to make mention of the statements of witnesses that have not yet testified. Baloyi, addressing the court, he said you cannot use inadmissible evidence in cross-examination. That's what the defense has been doing in some instances. The only way to use such statements is if the defense signals the intention to call those witnesses. Unless they do that, that remains hearsay evidence. He quoted from a law book, Detroit Criminal Procedure Act, when it deals with cross-examination and re-examination of witnesses. And it said, and I quote, cross-examination based on inadmissible evidence is not permitted. An unproven document which the witness cannot prove, whether party against whom a private document, in this case he said that it's a private document that was applicable, but the principle are applicable to a criminal case, where the party against whom a private document is a deed of sale, not complying with certain requirements as said to be relied on, has neither been admitted nor its authenticity proven, nor that the contents thereof are correct. Its contents cannot be used either as evidence or for the purposes of cross-examination. Now, proving the authenticity entails calling the opponent of that document to identify it. In this instance, he said the law in relation to the proof of private document is that the document must be identified by a witness who is either the writer or the signatory thereof, or the attesting witness, or the person whose lawful custody the document is. The person who found it in the possession of the opposing party, a handwriting expert, unless the document is one which proves itself, that's either produced under discover or maybe judicially noticed by the court, or is one which may be handed in from the bar, or is another one that may be produced under a subpoena or an affidavit in electoral proceedings, or is admitted by the opposing party. He said that rules of admissibility of a document must first be satisfied before a document can be used in cross-examination. He said this applies to all the statements in matter as well as statements that were made pursuant to an investigation in Foslera's case 636 of 2019. He said that we don't disturb the flow of proceedings by standing up and objecting all the time. Hence, we just felt that we need to bring this to the attention of my colleagues. Now, he's literally or was literally telling them how to conduct their cross-examination, completely paralyzing any angle they may have with regards to the use of statements in that court, especially regarding witnesses that are yet to testify. So that's how I felt about it. Ramasipili said that he noted it, and Baloi's statement, and he said that he cannot respond now, and he will have to prepare the application before he responds. He said maybe he might respond sometime tomorrow. Honestly, to me, it just felt like he looked frazzled. I'm not sure if he understood what Advocate Baloi was doing or saying. I don't know, I'm just not sure. I just felt like he was frazzled. So yesterday, Ramasipili wanted to use the photos of the park where alleged intruders went to, and they are from the second docket, which is docket 375. So the judge asked him and said to Ramasipili that he doesn't want to prejudice, or he doesn't want Ramasipili to prejudice his client. And he asked him if he wanted to use that information. Ramasipili said that it is not material for his cross-examination. Then the judge asked him, why did you bring it up? And Ramasipili said that he does not recall what witness it was when they kept referencing to the park. First of all, he doesn't remember what witness it was, which I found like, okay. And then he said that they left 200 meters during the main trial, and the court asked Mr. Baloi if it's imperative that the court has sight of the photos of the park and the surroundings. And the following day, during that witness, when that witness was testifying, then Mr. Baloi was told if he can furnish the court with disclosure regarding those photos of the park. I do remember witness evidence being led about the park, but those photos never arrived. Those photos, it was just left there and there. So it turns out that the judge also was saying that he never got those photos, and he never got answers. He said that as he was preparing, he came across those photos of Ramasipili, and he just wanted to remind the court and also ask for these photos, as it is necessary to have the witness to come and testify to orientate the court as to the park that was searched by the community by the first respondent, where it is alleged that the intruders ran 200 meters from the scene. So the judge said that it's obvious that the court wanted to know if there were photographs of the scene, and it answered then because there was silence. He thought that no photos were taken, and Baloi said that it is unfortunate because Ramasipili is the one who said it's unfortunate because they were finished with the photos that following day. So the judge was never informed. So he said that he never brought that to his attention or the attention of the court. So he said now the question he gave to Ramasipili is if he wanted to use them. And Ramasipili said that he was not going to use them because he doesn't want it. Okay, the judge is the one who advised Ramasipili, or putting it on record, that, you know what, I don't want to be, or want it to be said later on, that your client is being refused an opportunity to use those photos, which is supposed to be part of the defense. Ramasipili said that he discussed it with his client, which is accused number 2, and he will not be using the photos because this was in context within which he was bringing it to the attention of the court, and he's well versed that he will not use these photos anymore. So Advocate Charles Nisi brought up a very counter argument to what Advocate Baloyi was attempting to do. I became very concerned when I heard him now telling them how to cross-examine. But thank goodness for Advocate Nisi, because he got up and addressed the situation. And he said that the state is imposing the defense regarding the use of certain statements. It's unlawful and irrational because it does not take it into account the provisions of the Law of Evidence Amendment Act number 45 of 1988, which stipulates that information contained in the statement may be admitted on a provisional basis where a person who seeks to use that information undertakes to call the person whose property value the contents of such a statement lies. So the person who wants to use that statement can simply make an application to say, may I please be granted the leave to use the contents of the statement, because later on it will call the person upon whose person the credibility of this document relies. There's nothing wrong with that. And he said point number 2 is that the state receives a complaint that is investigated by police. The police go out and take statements from certain witnesses. Then the matter gets brought to court and there is a trial such as this one, and the state makes a disclosure. And in the process, circumstances had arisen in this court that certain circumstances may also arise.
Just a question. Has Gininda proven the link between accused number 3 and Kelly so far, since he's been promising to do so?
No.
Okay.
He has not yet. So in the process, circumstances had risen in this court that certain circumstances may also arise. He said that he has done this as well. Then he can go to the list of witnesses amongst the state witnesses as a particular Mr. X. He was giving an example that, Mr. X will come and testify. Maybe he's witness number 5. And then the state calls witness number 1. And then they cross-examine that witness with the statement of witness number X or number 5, which is Mr. X. Now, this he did not do. Honestly, I also can recall with the state using Warrant Officer Makubo's statement in the evidence in chief of Brigadier Gininda when they were trying to debunk the 375 docket. Do you guys remember that? So for me, I'm like, but Baloyi, you were not cognizant of this rule now that you're trying to give the defense while they are attempting to cross-examine. This rule did not apply to you when you made Brigadier Gininda testify on Warrant Officer Makubo's statement without calling Warrant Officer Makubo as a witness. And you do it all the time.
Yeah.
So Advocate Nisi said that this witness will come and say this and that. And he said that he's not even sure if that is lawful because the person that is being referred to, who the defense believes that later will be called by the state on the list of state witnesses. So there is perfectly nothing wrong with that if that happens in that order, unless if the statement from the beginning indicates that these are the specific names of witnesses that are going to be utilized in this trial. The rest will not be utilizing it upon those bases, and they can say on the basis that the state will not be utilizing this witness. And then he said that he may be granted leave to provisionally use that statement because most probably this information is very important for the defense of the accused person. And then the court provisionally allows the usage of the contents of such a statement, but the blanket prescription that such documents cannot be used, it's unlawful and irrational. It should be a case-by-case determination. It should not be a blanket amnesty. Nisi said, I therefore do not align myself with this suggestion. I don't align myself with that word of advice from the bar, that I am not inclined to accept that advice. Well, he said he's not sure whether Advocate Baloyi was making an application or was giving them advice. But yeah, he's not inclined to accept that advice.
Yeah, you cannot. You cannot.
What a moment. Oh, that one I was like, yeah. What a clapback. What a moment to stop nonsensical things from happening any further. Because can you imagine? He has been using this method, even the state advocate himself. They will introduce a statement, make the witness read that statement, and then not even call the witness afterwards. You understand?
People don't understand why we could be sounding so harsh when it comes to Ramsey Bill. If you look at it, there is no evidence. The only evidence that is said to be there in that court, if there was any, is what Ntanzi is alleged to have said.
To have confessed. Right now, they're only left with that confession.
And you have a lawyer that is not debunking that. You have a lawyer that is
playing along,
just seemingly playing along, in my opinion, moving from one pillar to another, not doing much.
He's not treating that confession like his client is giving him that I did not make that confession.
Yeah.
He's not doing that.
Yeah, he's looking for, I don't know how his approach is, and it is rather disappointing. Then by the time the others come and fight,
because
it will be pointless, because one of them did not do the good job of debunking the so-called theory, and that's a problem. Ramsey Bill's client is very important.
Will bring it up. Expect him to bring it up. He will be saying, but the lawyer of accused number 2 said what? Said so. You understand? So it is a weak cross-examination, in my opinion. I'm sorry for the fence of Ramsey Bill, but it is very swag.
And I feel like if you see that you are not going anywhere, just sit down.
Just sit down.
Yeah, just sit down. You call your witnesses. They will come and help you to debunk. You still have more time. But causing more damage is when you're trying to, I don't know whether it's trying to overcome, overpower Mr. Subsequently. It's not working. And for me, that's where I have a problem. Can stand for 2-3 days saying one thing and adjourning early all the time, and your time, like we are in a hurry to adjourn. You are in a hurry to take a break, regardless of when you started. You are in a hurry, like you are assisting the court. 2 minutes to go, you already want to adjourn. 2 minutes to go, you already want to go to the break. How does that look to your client? How does it look? That means you don't have issues. You don't have issues. You are just pushing time. But that's what I'm trying to get into. You don't have issues. You're trying to push time. And maybe it could be good because you are pushing time for others who are stronger.
Push it well. Push it accordingly. Yeah. Push it in a way that you don't fall asleep as Gininda is busy putting stuff on the record that he never put with the state prosecutor. You understand? Just be alert when he's responding. Yes, it's paragraphs upon paragraphs and a lot of stories. But once he deviates away from the question you asked him, remind him, I did not ask that question. I did not ask you about this. Please. I did not ask you about this. I just want the answer to this question. And right now, I haven't gotten that answer.
Get into his skin.
If you don't understand question, if you don't understand my question, then ask me to repeat it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Tell him. Ask me to repeat the question if you didn't understand it. Instead of going on and on and on and on to the bushes and back and to the house and back and to the kitchen and back. No. if you didn't hear my question, please ask me to repeat it. Finish and lar. Because wow. Yay. So he said that it shouldn't be a blanket amnesty. He said he therefore does not align himself with this suggestion. And also Ramasipili said that his client said that the state's assertion are one-sided and that Gininda also used a statement by Absalom Zungu which implicates accused number 1 and 2 without calling Zungu to the stand. The evidence of Makaleni also, the person was not called. They have not been furnished with the death certificate of that person. So what he says is that the warning that he sounds to us, he must also sound to himself. It's only after Mnisi addresses it that Ramasipili addresses
it, yes. Guys, I hear people saying he's exposing lies. Let us show me where. Show me where when Gininda is saying, you guys don't understand. Gininda is on record saying, Ntabiseng's statement was collaborated by the people coming out of the house. Right? He's saying the 3 people, he's accounting for them. 1 went in as the other one ran out, and then there was 2 that ran out. And that's a theory that Gininda is putting in front of that court. And that court is writing that. Ramsipire asked a question. Did Longwe see anyone when he was going out? How is that exposing the
lies?
How is it exposing the lies? I mean, give it to me. I'm the court. I'm sitting there. I'm writing. Someone puts, an investigator puts that theory, and you don't debunk it. You don't come and say no, but your theory has a flaw. Here, right? You don't do that. You just ask a question.
He tried to do it, but it was an epic fail because of this particular reason of allowing Gininda to talk too much.
He talks more than you. He's wagging you. He's wagging, the tail is wagging the dog.
Yeah.
So always the tail is going to win because he's in charge. Whether you like it or not, he's in charge. We are not being harsh because we have given him his flowers when he did well. With the evidence of technical evidence, we have given him his flowers. How is this exposing the truth? Explain it to me. And maybe I'm missing something.
Well, yesterday I tried to be gentle. I gave him grace and thought, it's the first day. You understand? Maybe he was just nervous and stuff, and maybe something is not aligning and whatnot. But Haikona,
because today, you know what people don't see.
No. I'm not here.
This judge has selective memories.
Yes.
You know when the new evidence needs to be introduced. And Ramsibir is doing it on behalf of Balo, in my opinion. The judge will come with one remark like, this is what was said on that statement. This is what was said. Yes. He's the one who's excited and eager to bring that statement on. And you still play in that man's hand like that. You say, yeah. By the way, we are bringing it now.
And once you see the state not objecting, and
you are falling on a trap. It's a trap. They
major red flag.
Look, this case is a mess. This case does not have evidence, but they did set traps. Traps are there.
They are there, and Ramasipil is falling right.
That's my problem.
Into them.
That is my problem.
He's falling right into those traps. He's not helping his client at all. Today or yesterday when I was a disaster. I don't want to lie. I don't want to sugarcoat it. It is what it is. Well, Malo also said that the use of hearsay evidence is governed by Section 3 of the Law Amendment Act 45 of 1988. And the judge asked Malo if that is true or correct to make that statement. Ngumalo said that there are 7 requests that must be met before one can. Just before he could finish, the judge said that what he understood from Mr. Baloyi is that those witnesses are alive. They must be either dead or missing so that the court can find the evidence could be inadmissible in a court of justice. He now spoke of wanting Ramasipili to answer if the person who compiled the photo album was alive or not. And Numalo said that if the court is warned that the counsel is going to use an affidavit and this person is going to be called and the witness may be cross-examined on the basis of the content of that affidavit, then failure in counsel calling the witness that referred to earlier, that evidence is scrapped from the record. So here they were literally, or Numalo was literally putting it clear that should a witness's statement be used before they come and testifies, and it turns out that that witness does not come to testify, according to the law, that evidence is scrapped from the record. So Mshololo said that they also had a conference about the use of docket 375, and it was discovered by the state to them that it can be used by the defense. She further said that it is the duty of each and every counsel who is intending to lead evidence on a particular statement, if the author and the deponent of that statement is no longer alive, to inform the court and bring the necessary application in order to be able to use such a statement when cross-examining, especially this witness who is investigating officer in this court. She said that when it comes to counsel leading on a particular statement, each counsel knows procedure. Mshololo said that the state agreed that Ramasipili can proceed with the photo album, but this morning they did not. So Mshololo also asked that the state makes those witnesses available to them if the state is not intending on calling them. So the state will have to first contact the witnesses of the defense. And to me, that is worrying. But it looks like that's how it operates in a court of law. And Mshololo was assertive as well in that she will be calling the witness who compiled the photo album, and he is still alive. Mr. Gininda is the one who will get them for the defense. She said that they will give them the list of all the witnesses that the defense intends to call. And I kept thinking to myself, no wonder why people never want to go to court and testify and be witnesses. It's scary venture. So the defense must disclose a list of the witnesses that they will be calling. And it looks like Brigadier Gininda and the state are the ones that will be having first contact with those witnesses.
Yeah, obvious. That's how the case is supposed to be. But if you ask me, this Baloyi said this is the last witness. Right? So
he might expand his list.
As much as, yes, there's a potential of him doing that. Because of what the questions that are going to come from this guy. Look, the defense has a vast of a pool to go look for. They have your Kwabini, they have a lot of people. I do not understand. That's why I'm worried. You keep someone for long on the stand, and you are not doing anything, in my opinion, to do more damage. You still have more people that this person has mentioned that they've not been called. You can still subpoena and get those people. Relax. Let this guy go. Let him go. Because we are clear. Give him to abantu abazokhona, like abomnisi, abomngomezulu, maybe abomshololo. It's fine. They will deal with that part, debunking him. It's fine. Kodwa yena no Ramasipili ngashonilang. We can stand crack under Ramasipili.
No.
I pay you money. He's not going to crack.
He's having fun.
He's having fun, in fact.
You can feel it in his voice.
He's not going to crack. He's too comfortable.
Himself.
You can say he's warming up. He's going to warm up until next year. Just finish up. My submission today is simple. Just finish up. close your case
down.
and sit down and give others
It's
a
okay,
chance.
you tried.
Because it's not gonna crack
My
under.
fear is that the further he goes along,
The more points that this guy is gaining and Malui, they are gaining more points because you are bringing things that they didn't even want to bring themselves. They know why they didn't want to bring that. You are bringing it when.
hi Kona, yeah, it's rather.
So
What a
we
good
might
idea.
sound harsh, but sit down, man. Chill, sit down.
Just sit.
I don't think you standing there for 2, 4, 5, 7 days is gonna help your client.
Even Danzi did not look happy. I looked at his face. He did not look happy at all with Ramsipil yesterday. He did not.
Aye.
And at some point, he would be the one calling him to remind him of certain things, to not even remind him to add on. It felt like Danzi is the one cross-examining now.
Aye, no. I do manje maizosuka.
No.
And if it's not mentioned, then people are gonna think, no, I do manje mizosuka. That's not how we start. Fine, leave it. You know, that's what my frustration today. Just leave it. Leave it.
You don't have a plan. You don't have a strategy.
Give it to seasoned people, seasoned lawyers who know
It's
how
time to let it go.
to buy themselves time. I think if you are
Mnis
trying
is
to
the
buy
one
time for
who's good at
Mnis is gonna be able to buy time for himself.
Yeah.
You know, he's capable of doing that. He's too you can tell even there if you look at those defenders that are sitting, he's the one who's too comfortable there. Give him, he's gonna buy himself time. If he needs to stand there for 3 days, let him.
Let it be.
He's gonna do that. I promise you, he's not gonna be able to. He's not gonna fail to
He
do
will
that.
not be giving the state the case or the game, giving it away. Ramsipil right now, what he's doing is giving away their game. He's giving away
A lot of
defense.
things are gonna
Yes.
be people bring. Like people in this case are dying. Even Gomez is skeptical
Yes.
of name dropping people.
Yes.
You are name dropping people.
When
You are.
promising to call them, you are even telling the state, the very same state, that some of your witnesses
chill
is afraid of.
And their addresses.
Sure.
Chill out, man. Chill out. That's my issue with you. Like I don't have any problem with Ramsipi, but for now, let's be honest. Chill out, my guy.
Sit down,
Sit this
Ramsipi.
one out.
It's fine.
Let's
Uzami.
see what is coming next.
Just sit, because the more you go on and try to chase the damage, no. So
And you see, like abantu bazobona. From here, I can almost predict there are no questions that are gonna surprise you. No, there are no questions that are gonna surprise you. That are coming. Yeah, we can go on and on and on and on. The aim is for this guy to go and write so that Mnisi can get more time. We see that. I see that, in my opinion. We are buying time. But how about Mnisi buys himself time? That's all I'm saying. Give him to buy himself time.
you know how he was sort of skeptical at the beginning when he
wanted to start. When he was supposed to start.
That's when we should have gotten the hint that Ramsipil is not ready for this witness.
He wanted
showed the
Ngome
signs,
Zulu,
yes.
and
The signs were
that
there.
whole that was a sign that, in my opinion, I'm not ready.
Well, the judge said to Ramasipili that when he first decides to not use the photos, it must not be said that he's the one who said so. He said your client has the right to defend himself in a fair trial to challenge this evidence. So the judge also said that if Mr. Ramasipili wants to use the material, he's free to do so. So cross-examination then resumed. Ramasipili was now on the neighbor's evidence. He said he wanted to read in Tabise Mukiti's evidence from the 26th of July 2023, where she spoke about hearing a bang sound, loud noise that sounded like a gunshot sound while they were still in the car. Then she got shocked to hear that it is the sound of a firearm, or a firearm that was being discharged. Referring to Yolanda Nota, the friend that she says she was with in the car, that she was with at the time. She also said that there was a person who was running past their vehicle, and it looked like a male who had a pair of pants on, was lean in physique. They were running towards the park. Ramasipili asked him, "Are you saying that the person that ran out had dreadlocks?" And Gininda said he was referring to her statement and what she told the court here. And he said he was not there. He was not in the court while she was saying all of this. Ramasipili then said the person described by Mrs. Mokete was lean and she didn't know where the person was running from. Your comment. And Gininda said, "I was not before court. I can only comment on what is in the statement." Ramasipili then asked him, "So you wouldn't have a reason to dispute her testimony that she didn't see where the person ran from after hearing the first shot?" Gininda said, "I would not dispute her testimony before court as I was not here, my lord." Ramasipili asked him, she also said that there was a sound of a second shot, which was this time closer to the vehicle. After that sound, the people ran towards the park like the first person. She said that as she opened the car door, there was a third gun sound. She said that there were two people running in the same direction. Baloyi objected, saying that Brigadier Gininda can't be asked for an opinion. He said he's being asked to comment on who the person is that is being referred to here. He can't give an opinion. At the end of the case, based on the probabilities, it will be for us to argue who is the person that is being described here. It cannot be left to the witness to give an opinion like that. Ramasipili said that he would leave it and go straight to what he wanted to ask. He went on to read from Mokete's testimony where she described the people that ran past the car she was sitting in. Ramasipili said on page 26 she gives a description of the first person who was running and lean in physique, and she said the second person had dreadlocks and the other one was slightly bigger with a hoodie and taller than the other two. She said she can't give any other description. So the person, she said, had a hoodie was slightly bigger in physique, not one of a leaner physique. She also said he was taller than the other two that I have already referred to. Gininda said, "My comment is that the three suspects she saw is corroborated in accused number 2's confession." Again. He said he ran out and left accused number 3 inside. That's when accused number 4 ran in, and when he ran out of the car, he was running alone, and that is what is corroborated by Ntabi saying. What we do not have on the investigation is what accused number 4 was wearing, though I cannot say what kind of clothing accused number 4 was wearing on that day. The only description of the suspect that is given by the witness insofar as the person wearing the dreadlocks, where they described the khaki or the brownish jacket. Mr. Makeleni, who assisted in the identikit of the second suspect, where he described the black hoodie, which is corroborated by Mr. Zungu. I don't have evidence that points to exactly what accused number 2 was wearing.
Now, is that after that, if you continue going through what happened in that court, is that theory debunked?
No. He just left it. Ramasipili just left it hanging. He leaves everything just hanging. He doesn't drive it home.
He drove Gininda to go back and revisit that thing. Since yesterday, I've been crying about it. Today, he comes back again. He makes him say it again one more time on record. And he's not debunking it.
No, he's not.
He's not.
He's not debunking it.
He's not saying, no, man, you cannot say that, though. Your theory, here's a flaw about that theory.
There's a mismatch.
There's a mismatch because there are 6 people who came out of that house according to that theory.
With dreadlocks.
Yes.
Where now you are busy hammering on a person with dreadlocks, but you're not even describing their physique. Saying it's the second person.
And you are saying my client wrote down that he's the one who ran out of that house. And you are also saying he doesn't have dreadlocks.
You've also said he's never had dreadlocks.
He doesn't have dreadlocks.
You couldn't prove that he had dreadlocks.
You couldn't prove that he had dreadlocks. You couldn't prove that he also had gold tooth. So who is this person that was running out? Let me give you a theory then. What if I told you that there was someone who ran out before the first gunshot? What if I told you that?
There was a person who ran out before the first.
Did you look at that as an investigator? You know, that's when you feel like someone is fighting. You know, like there's a fight. Someone put an assertion on record.
Life is on the line.
Someone puts an assertion and then you're like, okay, upon them going out, did they say in their statement, you're asking about your client, did they see anyone outside?
You know, there's an illness we have as South Africans, especially us native South Africans. We have been trained to be these apologists.
Oh, man.
For nonsense sometimes. You know, and I feel like Ramasipili has been programmed to be careful, and now it's catching up with him, because right now it's not the time to do that. It's honestly not. Being an apologist is tiring. I am tired myself. Nami, I'm tired. I know we've been trained like this. We've been conditioned to be careful, to say please and thank you, to not offend anybody, to be kind at all times. But it's catching up with us. It's catching up with us. We have been too kind that we're being taken advantage of sometimes. So I'm needing Ramsipli to snap out of it. Please. Please.
No, it's fine. People are saying he's laying the basis. I don't know what basis is.
No, there's no basis. There's no basis that was laid.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just wait. Just wait. Maybe he's laying the basis. Just wait. Just continue.
It's been 2 days.
Just, you know, honestly speaking, 2 days, I'm not going to say much. Let's not say much. Let's just go through this and then maybe have calls. Let's wait to see tomorrow.
Okay, let's go through it. Advocate Ngumalo had a problem with his client being mentioned when the question was not about his client. The judge said that he's giving evidence. Ngumalo said that he's not happy because he is stressing the point when it comes to the reference with his client. This is where I felt a little bit proud of Ngumalo, you know, because what's the point of bringing in accused number 4 when you don't even have evidence of whether he was there or not? You are trying to squeeze him in there when, you know, there's no description that fits accused number 4. There's nothing that you investigated that puts him amongst those people that were running outside of the house, except the so-called confession that you took from accused number 2. Gininda explained that it was a collaboration in the confession of accused number 2 with Ntabiseng's statement. So Ramasipili said to him that if you listen to the objection by Advocate Baloyi, and hence I ran away from the passages I was reading from the beginning and I only read the description, I sought your comments on the description as per Ms. Mukiti as to who Ms. Mukiti saw first as the person running. That is the argument that he will argue at a later stage. He said, it is not your duty, he told Gininda, to draw inferences about the mind of Mrs. Mukiti that this person was running. Therefore, Mukiti says that that person, that is not her testimony. Hence, Mr. Ngumalo is not happy because you did not even answer your question. You went on a brief to show that you cannot draw inferences, which is not your duty. You see how I am saying it? He was not even saying it like that. He was saying it with so much sweetness and cuteness and trying to reason and, you know.
No, let's just continue.
Gininda then said, no, but my lord, that is not correct. I haven't even uttered one word of inference. I was asked a specific question to comment about the 3 individuals Ms. Mukiti referred to, and my response was in relation to individuals in relation to confession of accused number 2. Yeah. That is it right there. They are asking you about what Mrs. Mukiti said she saw, and you are matching the puzzle with accused number 2's alleged confession. That is not your duty. Gininda said he does not know how to answer because he was asked a question and he answered it in that context. And now they should tell him that if he doesn't understand the question, it's fine. He can tell them that he doesn't understand the question, because this is exhausting, honestly. Gininda denied making an inference and repeated what was said before. So after the short adjournment, Ramasipili asked him, are there any witness statements that say they saw suspects running out? Gininda said he thinks the Ngaches and the late Mr. Makileni. Ramasipili then said, did they specifically notice how the statement of a deceased person has now come in?
And it's live. It's
notice that.
And who brought it into life?
It's Ramasipili and Gininda. I'm also including him because he's allowing this. He's allowing it. I'm tired. The statement of a deceased person is now being brought to the forefront as if that person will come and testify. In the meantime, it should be scrapped. It should be taken out completely. Ramasipili then said, did they specifically say they saw suspects running 13511 Kutwanong Street on the day between 2000 hours and 21:15? Gininda said no, there's not even a single witness who says specifically, including those in the house. Ramasipili then asked, so what are those witnesses? What are they saying? Gininda asked to be given a chance to look, but continued to say that you would have inferences like Makumalo's house. Nobody identified the house number. Ramasipili said that he will give him time up until the long adjournment to get an answer for that question. So he continued to ask him, you'd recall Mr. Mbata was arrested before and there was an identity parade. This is Mr. Mbata was arrested after the incident back in 2014. It was a false accusation. He was eventually released. So Gininda said, I do recall. Ramasipili then said, after accused number 2 was arrested on the 16th of June 2020, why was there no identity parade conducted for him in respect of the people inside the house? And you'd recall that Mr. Mbata, the reason why he got arrested is because someone had pointed at him in the identity parade. Yes, back in 2014. They told the police that this is the man who came into the house. And turns out, after the police did their work and investigated, that was not the case. Gininda then said, I do recall 2 people I interviewed, Mr. Mtogozi Sitwala and Mr. Madlala, who said they were 50-50. They're not 100% sure that they would be able to do an identity parade. He said, I'd recall taking their statements. It wasn't going to take us anywhere. Insofar as the others, I have said the investigation was prosecutorial driven. You will sit with the prosecution and you'll be guided as to which witnesses you can use or not. So each time I hear prosecutorial driven, I hear Advocate Baloyi in my perspective. He is the prosecutor ever since this investigation landed on Brigadier Gininda's hands and responsibility. I'm thinking Advocate Baloyi. I could be wrong, but prosecutorial driven, it means Advocate Baloyi was there assisting him with the prosecutorial driven investigation.
That would mean that for a long time, and we've said this before, Baloyi knew he was not going to call Longwe. Baloyi knew he was not going to call Kelly. The only people who did not know is Zandi and the rest.
Did you hear that, Miss Popola? Did you hear that?
No, I because he stopped those 2 people. Gininda is literally saying, in a sense, I was stopped from going to ask these people why.
Ramasipili then said, regarding the rest of the people inside the house, why was a decision taken that they shouldn't come to an ID parade where accused number 2 would be part of a lineup so that they can have an independent identification rather than what transpired here in court, him being identified from the dog? Gininda said, like I said, the 2 people I interviewed said they were not 100% certain because of the period it had taken, and it was a prosecutorial investigation, so there were guidelines in terms of who we can use and who we cannot use. Did you hear that, Miss Popola?
So, and the other thing is, they haven't found out who actually pointed at this guy.
Accused number 2.
They are saying it's Kelly's mom, right? Is that what they're saying?
Which one? The initial one from 2014, Umbata.
But yeah.
The allegation is that it was Kelly's mom.
Okay. Now, do you see how Baloyi selectively pushed out Kelly's mom? Because I'm telling you, as much as there's no case here, there's no case in this thing. I can tell you there's no case. That everyone who's honest can see that there's no case. But Baloyi is a seasoned lawyer. We can undermine him all we want.
No, he's been practicing.
He's been
for a very
doing
long
some
time.
of this, if not more than this, several times.
He's been working
So
with cases.
on his craft, he's been working on his craft. So
It's been decades.
he knows how to, and most of the time when he objects, you can tell that this person is, and we are one of my warren. If you think that we are just unreasonably, once you see the judge excited, cool, relaxed,
Sit down.
you must know what you are doing is not
It's not all
what
over.
should worry him.
Yeah.
He's not asking for objections. He's not assisting in terms of. That means
He must be uncomfortable.
That means
That's
he's
when you
cruising
know you're
nice.
doing a good job. as
once
a
he keeps on
defense.
poking jokes, distracting you,
Yeah, guys, sit down.
uyazi ukuthi wena vele uyakuhlafuna. Uyakudla vele ujudge. It's not a secret leyo vele. Mina, that's how I see it. Ujudge ungamuza khuluma ngabososobala unesikhathi sokukhuluma ukhumbula ososobala on your cross examination.
We are not hearing the.
Uyakuhlafuna. Uyakuhlafuna
You are
phela.
losing.
Uhamba nawe,
Sit down. You are losing. You're not doing a proper job. Sit down.
Uhamba nawe.
Once you're not saying, hey, what? Once you're not
What are you
saying any
saying,
of that,
Baloyi? What are you saying? Once ngakafiki
I
lapho.
contains man. Once you hear silence and you hear
A lot of writing.
comfort and a lot of writing. No, you're not.
At least one
you're
thing
not
that we
cross-examining
can be
properly.
assured of is how the judge operates, based on the basis of the cases that we have went through, previous cases. At least we know how this judge is. So I think we can agree on that one. Well, Ramsipili, we don't have history of him. We just saw him now on this case. That is where we start.
I'm seeing a very long comment about Ramasipili. Maybe there's something there. I don't know.
So what is of importance from what Ramsipili is doing is displays certain inconsistency with regards to what Ntabiseng said as compared to what everyone has said about what transpired that night. You see?
And then
You are right. You are right. I hear you.
He
You
left
are
it
right.
hanging,
You are right. You see, the problem is that one thing I've learned about Baloyi and the judge and their witnesses, they are able to change the state, the whatever evidence that was given, and it becomes the truth of the day.
Yes.
So if you ask questions and leave them hanging, Baloyi is gonna, on his argument, is gonna take the record that you left hanging and use it against you. My learned friend never asked 1, 2, 3, you know, and that will be the last part of arguments now, where you need to actually have your record backing you, but your record is found in a limbo. It can be used left or right. Is that what you want? Facing someone like Baloyi, well articulate like that? You wanna leave something.
You need to hammer it. You see how Nisi does.
How many times has Baloyi used their records in some of these? Check whose records are used the most.
Ramusipili.
Check whose records are used the most.
Ramusipili said. Ramusipili, my learned colleague Ramusipili said. My learned Ramusipili under cross-examination. My learned colleague Ramusipili said on the record of the 28th of October 2023.
And you can rest assured there's gonna be most of his name there, because now some of the statements that Baloyi did not bring are there. Ramusipili brought this one, was asking 1, 2, 3. That is gonna be his submission at the end. So if you leave it when ushaye penalty uyeke ilenge emoyeni ucantu khona uzoyiqedela, uzofika uBaloyi eqedela. He's gonna finish it.
Uzoyifaka endaweni wrong. Angeke ifake lapho.
It's going direct against you, and you cannot dispute it because you left it like that. Because I don't know what you left it like that. Balo is gonna come and finish it for you. Don't worry, man. Watch and see. Nzobeni half and puff, nzobeni red. Balo yapiza. I don't record. My Leonard colleague said.
Cross-examination with Brigadier Gininda on the 14th of November 2024. This is what my Leonard colleague said, and he was be quoting it from the record.
Buganjumetu, Uti Ramsipi is not using Makeleni's statement. We mentioned that yesterday when I met. But the thing is, here's the problem. Gininda brought that one in.
And Ramusipili
never objected. And Baloy stood to say, what did Baloy say? He said, it's my Leonard colleague who invited.
Yes, we invited.
And then it's the same person who said, once that thing has been opened, it cannot be closed. That's the same law. I'm following Baloy's way of doing things, right? Yes. I'm just following Baloy's way to. The Ramsipil did not do it. We are saying that. But in court, Baloy was able to stand up and object when Ramsipil said, I didn't do it. Baloy was able to stand up and object and point at the certain things, and the judge agreed. He said, your learned colleagues is talking about the principle. Isn't that going to happen on the day of the judgment?
How today Gininda is bringing Makaleni up like...
Yeah, it's normal. It's a norm. Eventually, you know what?
Makaleni is all over Ramusipili's
because yesterday later, if you remember very well, and we are not selective in your remembering, upon Ramusipili defending himself, saying that, no, I did not bring, I was talking about Stenkamp statement.
Yes.
He later brought it. And I said it. I said he later went to do something. So it's open. Makaleni's statement is actually open.
On Steenkamp's statement, he went to Makaleni's
where he was defining, what was it defining?
Interview. The suspect B, the features of suspect B. He was tall, 1.80 meters tall.
Yes.
He was lean, whatever, wearing a black jacket or whatever.
That's why I'm saying that in this time, he's right in saying the tail is wagging the dog. After that argument, he brought it. So very soon, no, he didn't. No, he did. Later on, mate.
Now we are using hearsay evidence of a deceased witness.
He did. So it's part of the record now, and you cannot write it off. Balo is going to be using it.
Oh my God.
So without that Makeleni statement, there was no description of any accused.
No.
Do you understand?
Yes.
But now there is a description of accused through Makeleni, who's not there to testify, who will never long gone.
Come to testify.
Yes. And someone yesterday, I'm not going to mention the name, sent me the name, by the way, about that Makeleni. He said, I will look for him. Said they used to call him what X. Let me see. The guy was mostly indulge. Okay. Makeleni, who was Bra S, was always drunk. His sobriety on that day was questionable.
Oh, and it was a Sunday.
I'm not saying that was what someone is saying. It is alleged, okay, that this man was the person comes from that side. So Wabona, you brought that statement. It's live now. It's living. It's kicking.
Ramusipili, sit down.
No, it's fine. It's not. Just continue. Just continue. I didn't read it yesterday. I just left it like this. But let's continue.
Ramusipili said that one of the statements of Tumelo Madlala, who you took a statement from on whether he would be able to identify the perpetrators, he said this case has been a while back, therefore he wasn't sure he would be able to identify the persons who entered the house. Gininda said he does recall, but he didn't say he won't be able to. He said it was the time frame. It was a 50-50 type of response that he gave. Ramusipili said the ID kit on the 29th of October 2014, did you subsequent to that request Warrant Officer Steenkamp to compile another ID kit regarding accused number 2's altering the image exhibit BB? Gininda said he did contact Warrant Officer Steenkamp to assist with the photo he had of accused number 2 who was arrested. The second part, not to alter the initial identity kit, it was to say this is the picture from the ID after he was arrested. He asked her to say, take this picture and see if it resembles the ID kit drafted on 29th of October 2014, not to replace or alter. So he took a picture of accused number 2 and sent it to Steenkamp and told Steenkamp to to do what exactly?
To create a picture that looks like this person. He's saying he wanted to see if things are gonna change, Yabon. But in all honesty, it was a mess. And you see why most of the time I'll be frustrated with these questions. Is this done? Is this a norm, Gininda, that you have a sketch that has been drawn and then you still take someone's picture, you send it and say, please fit this picture? Is that what?
Because that's the feeling I got with the gun with
Is this what is done?
there.
Is this what is done? No, if he answers that with a lie, then you note that, okay, if he says it's done most of the time, then you wait for Steenkamp. It's coming, right?
Yes.
You ask, have you ever, how many times have you done this? Where a picture after drawing the sketch is sent to you, and then now you are able to draw the differences between the expert of note who's doing this thing and someone who's coming to give just evidence for the sake of getting people arrested, and you point that one out. But because he didn't ask it, he's like, why did you do that? And then he gives the reason, and the reason is fine. It stands. If I give that reason, it's okay. It stands. And I hear many people saying that the judge was hiding his anxiety. The judge is cruising nicely, people. I told you when the judge was going to bring that in a trial, everyone was saying, it's not. I've got people who who were believing, this judge is just doing this thing, it's gonna give a judgment on the.
There's some people still believe that, funny enough. That ship has sailed. I used to think, maybe he's hiding his hand at the very beginning of the case. But now that ship has sailed, okay, I don't believe that nonsense anymore. I don't.
But you are saying, I wonder how Rata is going to find the accused guilty. Wasn't it him saying that he wanted the evidence? Forensic evidence of whether the phone was inside the house?
Inside the house or not?
Yeah, he's writing his points. But that's how you write your point. You're saying a phone was inside the house.
He will be
then the phone. Yeah, that's how he's asking those questions.
And he's looking for points that will support that judgment at the end of the day. And you must notice and pay attention to the stuff that he gives attention to.
Yes.
That's what gives you a picture of what the judgment is going to look like.
If they cannot put those guys inside the house, but the phone, they did put it inside the house, right? So that's where the writing starts.
Yes, and the defense would.
And who was giving
to
that?
Highlight such instances.
Who was
when
giving that?
When they make an appearance on the judgment, you know the appeal.
Who was giving that? It's Gininda. Who said if there were no intruders, then why would the phone be going on the direct sheet? And he was left alone to do that. It's okay, he did it. Now the judge wants to know if that phone was inside the house. And you still think it doesn't have something to hold on to? I'm hoping this case just finishes fast so that we can see what this judge is going to do. Because it seems as if we have faith, eh?
Hey, South Africans were like this. We wake up late.
Our names.
It's our norm.
Our names are faith, and there's nothing. Once it's in, it's in. These people have to go through this whole process of whole process of appealing. It's another story, because
and
after that,
things are happening.
After that, this is what's going to happen. The judge gives a judgment. He finds these people guilty. and then the legal aid pulls off their money. Who's gonna go and appeal for these people?
They've reached the maximum of how much.
Who's gonna go and appeal for these people?
They will not be affording to appeal.
And there you go. But it's fine, let's continue.
Well, Gininda then said the essence was to ascertain whether she can link this photo given to her when the hoodie is inserted with the photo which was drawn on October 29th, 2014. So what he is saying is that he wanted Steenkamp to put a hoodie on the picture of suspect B. In simple terms. I don't know whether I got it or not, because the way he talks too much. I don't know. Ramasipili then said he made accused number 2 aware of the photo, the one they dressed in a hoodie. Although he did not have a hard copy, he will get it scanned and printed for his client to see it. Mara Ramasipili, why are you...
No, look, leave it. There are people here. I think they're even saying, someone is saying we're arguing with them. Well, that's how we run this show. If there are points where it's fine. There are points where we are going to argue, and that's the point. We don't agree sometimes. We all want the same thing, but sometimes we're not going to agree
we
all the
cannot
time.
agree all the
but
time.
let's continue, Emily. Let's not...
He read Warren Office. Let me not criticize Ramasipili.
Leave Ramasipili.
I must not criticize.
Please, just go through the whole thing.
Okay, Warrant Officer Steenkamp's statement was read. The judge asked him why he was resisting all of that. Then Ramasipili went on to the relevant part. He was reading the entire statement. Ramasipili was going to read, I'm explaining now, I'm not attacking him. He was going to read the whole statement. In fact, he had already started reading it from the beginning, word to word, the statement of Warrant Officer Steenkamp. And then the judge asked him, why is he doing all of that? Okay, why is he doing... Ramasipili is still functioning under R versus Hepworth's conditions and situation, where he was telling them that everything needs to be put on record. He hasn't gotten with the program that things have now changed. So Ramasipili now went to the relevant section. He read Warrant Officer Steenkamp's statement. I hope that helps how I described it.
Yeah.
I will no longer be putting my opinion.
No, don't.
Yes. So she said on the 16th of June 2020, she received an instruction from Brigadier Gininda to alter the image and add a hoodie. Listen to the words of Steenkamp. Alter the image and add a hoodie. Alter the image and add a hoodie. He also went on to read the statement about Makaleni's description, that Makaleni gave the description of suspect B. He now showed Gininda the 3 pictures. Ramasipili asked him what was the purpose of altering this image, and then Gininda said that there was no altering, but it was to make a comparison and see if the pictures, they correspond. So, okay, Konja, I'm not allowed to give my opinion.
Continue.
Ramasipili said, where was accused number 2's ID taken for it to be supplied to Ms. Steenkamp? And Gininda said it was taken by the arresting officers as they were arresting him on that day. Gininda said they did let him know it was electronically communicated, as Warrant Officer Steenkamp was in East London. So Ramasipili then said, other than Makeleni, is there any other person who made a statement that the second intruder wearing a hoodie also had dreadlocks? Because the people in the house related the dreadlocks to the first intruder. Gininda said that is correct. All the people in the house related the dreadlocks to the first intruder. And Ramasipili asked Ms. Zandile Kumalo and Lieutenant Colonel Mangena testified about a reenactment that occurred around 2016 regarding the events that transpired on the 26th of October 2014. Are you aware of the reconstruction? Gininda said that the only reconstruction that he seemed to recall was where General Mukotedi and Brigadier Mudise were involved, and they used the actors to try and reconstruct the scene. So he wasn't sure if that's the one that Ramasipili was talking about. Ramasipili confirmed to be the one, because apparently, allegedly, there's another one that they did with the investigators of Docket 375 that involved everyone who was in the house. So that's perhaps why Brigadier Gininda was asking whether Ramasipili is referring to the one that he knows about. Ramasipili said that earlier last year he had asked the state to provide them with a copy of that DVD. Warrant Officer Boyson also attended that reenactment. He took videos and copied it to a CD card and made it into a DVD. He said he hasn't had a positive response whether or not that DVD is available. Gininda said he will assist and make it available to the defense. Ramasipili then went to the boardroom the next day, where they went back to check for accused number 2's alibi. And Gininda said that there will be no reason for him to ask accused number 2 to take off his clothes to check for tattoos, He was vehemently denying this instance that it did take place, where he was in the boardroom and was the one interrogating accused number 2, because accused number 2 is saying that he was there. Gininda continued to say that in the docket itself, there are no people in the house or outside that gave a description of tattoos. Ramasipili asked to approach accused number 2, and when he came back, Gininda said that he based that accused number 2's resemblance on suspect B on the identity kit according to his observation. So he arrested Ntanzi based on his observation of that identity kit, in my opinion. So Ramasipili said you then confronted him and said that you are sitting with information that shows you that you are a suspect in the Senzo Meyiwa murder case. Gininda said that the sequencing was not accurate. That was put at the beginning. That was done in the beginning after he was warned of his rights. He said, I even said it was surprising that he mentioned the date that Meyiwa was killed, which is the 26th of October 2014, and that he was at work. That's when we followed the alibi, which was found to be false. So Ramasipili then said, at Carltonville, you attended HR where you got the clocking records on whether accused number 2 was working on the 26th of October 2014. Gininda said that it was only one facility that he went to, and Mr. Mulder was having access to the history and the activities of the clocking records. Now, Ramasipili said, when I say you went to separate department at Sibanye, did I not only mention the HR, I also was talking about the hospital section to obtain medical records. Gininda well denied this. He said no, he doesn't recall that. Gininda said he was present for the examination on the 22nd with Dr. Tlokwe, whether the dental report was given. Okay, I personally don't know why he was denying the fact that they went to accused number 2's workplace and also went and looked for his medical records. Okay, so Ramasipili then said, other than Makeleni, did any of the other witnesses inside the house describe the second intruder as having a gold tooth? Gininda said no. According to his recollection, there may be one statement stating that the first intruder had a gold tooth, but the statement was supplemented saying that they were not sure. He thinks it's Miss Zandi Kumalo, but he could check. So accused number 2, Ramasipili said he was taken to hospital section because he said that there was an issue as to whether the accused had an injury during a mining accident that the investigating team wanted to follow. So if I'm correct, Sergeant
Welcome, Aubrey. Member, thank you for joining our members. Thank you.
Thank you, Aubrey. Thank you. So he said accused number 2 was taken to hospital section of the mining complex for that purpose, the purpose of checking for this so-called injury. And Gininda said if he was taken and Sergeant Mohani testified to that effect, it would have been before he arrived. He said that when he arrived, the sequences to where he was, he went to explain the sequence of what he did. Like it seemed like he memorized it from the time that he arrived until the alibi followed. He said he found it to be false, that alibi. Then the identity kit, which was then denied by accused number 2. He said he read him his rights as he was leaving the call. Then he was called back by one of the officers He was called back by one of the officers. That led to the confession after they agreed that he would make the statement to an independent officer. He said he departed with Sergeant Mohola, so there's no other activities that he went to attend with Sergeant Mohola. The only encounter he had with him was on the following Monday, the 22nd of June, at Dr. Tlokwe's office. Okay, yeah. I still don't get the purpose of him denying the seeking out of the medical records. I wish I could say it, but I'm not allowed to give my opinion. Ramasipili said that accused number 2 said that Esibanye Gininda did not confront him with the identity kit. He confronted him with a photo which depicts a motor vehicle with a person around. And on the other side of the car, there's a person wearing blue clothing with a cap. So this is also like, wow, hebatu. So accused number 2 is saying that he was shown a picture of a man with a blue cap, with a cap and blue outfit. He was not shown the identity kit, and he said that this even happened at the boardroom at a later stage. Gininda denied it and said the picture is from accused number 3's phone. On the 16th, they were not in sight of accused 3, 4, and 5. And Gininda said that the download were only commissioned on the 17th of August 2020. He denied being in possession of that picture on the 16th of June, and he said that when he interrogated accused number 3 on the 30th of June, he did not have those pictures. Ramasipili corrected himself to say that accused number 2 did not say that this happened at Sibanye but at the Pretoria North SAPS in the boardroom, and he said it is you who showed him a picture and said that that person with a cap, it's him. Gininda vehemently denied this and said that he was not there and they were not even aware of the pictures. So Ramasipili went to Zungu's testimony when he was asked about the same picture. Gininda brought up that even Sergeant Masondo's statement said that he got the downloads on the same day that they were downloaded, which was the 8th of August 2020. So after the long adjournment, Ramasipili was now on the identity kits of the 2 intruders, and Gininda said that he knows the name Mafika is associated with accused number 2, but he did not show him that picture. He said, I cannot even tell who that person in the blue cap is because I can't see him. So according to the reports, the 3 pictures that were beamed in court, on the left was the identity kit, and in the middle was Ntanzi's ID photo, and on the right it was Ntanzi's photoshopped ID picture where he was wearing, or where a hoodie was added. So Ramasipili asked what he found, and Gininda said it was never about finding, but the observation of an expert. On the original identity kit, Gininda said those black markings look like dreadlocks. Ramasipili said that the people in the house were not able to identify suspect B. Gininda said he actually saw that on one of Zandi's statements. She actually said she would be able to identify him if she saw him again. Miss Popola. Ramasipili asked about the 29th of October 2014.
Identifying inkabi zikasiswakho allegedly.
Allegedly. Then many years later, she could now recall what the second suspect looked like, and there's no statement where she said she could now remember what the second suspect looked like. Gininda says that should be traversed with Steenkamp, and that there's also no statement where she said she does not remember what the second suspect looked like. He was not light, he was not dark. This is what Ramasipili was reading from Zandile's statement. A generic and vague description is what Zandi gave by her. There were no facial features, and Ramasipili said it was not for Gininda. He will argue that at a later point. Ramasipili now turned to what happened in the house, and he asked, is there a statement that says Longwe saw the people who were on the dock or who were on the lookout as he ran out? I get it, there's supposed to be people that were outside as he ran out, because some are said to have been on the lookout. Gininda said no. Longwe, there's nowhere in the statement where he says that there were people as he ran out that were on the lookout. So Ramasipili asked about others that were not in the house. Ramasipili said the witness in the house said Longwe stood up and confronted the shot one with a gun and ran out of the house. What I want to know is their statement that says Longwe went outside. He saw the other perpetrators who were on the lookout. Gininda said, no, there isn't. Ramasipili said, are there any statements that say they saw people running out of Makumalo's house? Gininda said the one of Makeleni, he said, saw 3 black males running from the Kumalo house. He said one was armed with a firearm. So Ramasipili said, you said accused number 2 said when he ran out of the house, one of the other accused ran in. Gininda said yes. Zandi Kumalo said after the phone of Kelly was taken by the intruder with the firearm, one with the dreadlocks, she was in the bathroom and she peeped. He left. She came out of the bathroom and saw Senzo running from the kitchen to the dining room with Makumalo and Kelly, and nobody else came in. Gininda said the difficulty is that I was not in court. All I can say is in the confession of accused 2 that he ran out and accused 4 went in. That's what he says. Zandi Kumalo said that in their house, they can see everywhere. The judge asked what she was emerging, that Uzandi said that she was emerging from the bathroom. The bathroom was glazed between the base and the toilet. Do you guys remember that whole situation at Kazuk Popola? That's what the judge was talking about. And it opened from the inside. The door opened from the inside. And he said, yeah, I listened to the evidence. Does she say she could see the rest of the house according to you? Ramusipili said that it's an issue that he will canvass. Baloi read the record from the 18th of July 2023 where he said that the gentleman in the dreadlocks turned around. I don't know whether he was coming to me. He went out to the door. The view was restricted into the corridor. That's what Ms. Popola said in her testimony. So Ramusipili said that he had left the confession of accused number 2 to the end of his cross-examination. Ramusipili now turned to the statement of Absalom Zungu, and Gininda said that he's still alive. He also mentioned that he intends to call Zungu to the stand, and Gininda read Zungu's statement. And it read, and I quote, he said that he is part-time unemployed and worked at Pitritif. In late 2017, I met Mbegiseni Ntanzi, who is my relative from the homelands in Kwanongoma. I met Mbegiseni at Durban Kwamashu squatter camp. It was during the general discussion between myself and him whereby he told me something shocking. He said to me there was once an argument between him and his brother Mafiga Ntanzi and another Ntanzi brother in Sesotho homeland in Kwanongoma. I do not recall what was Mafiga arguing with his elder brother about, according to Mbegiseni. Mbegiseni said after the argument he was told by the other Ntanzi brother that he won't fight with Mafiga. Instead, he will rather report him to the police for the murder of an Orlando Pirates goalkeeper called Senzo Meyiwa back in Vosloorus. He further said that he was told by the brother of Mafiga that Mafiga Ntanzi committed the murder with Sibia, who is also from Kwanongoma. I further do know that the 2 mentioned suspects were staying in the hostel in Vosloorus during the time Senzo Meyiwa was killed. I further know that Muzisbia had dreadlocks at a certain time but cut them off after the murder of Senzo. Muzisbia is currently somewhere in Kwanongoma and Mafiga is currently working in a certain mine in Rustenburg.
So it's Muz now who had dreadlocks.
Recall when they were saying MC Menzisto was lying. Did you remember the backlash we got after MC Menzisto was narrating what the family had told him? And MC Menzisto
they wanted the pictures of
Muzi with
dreadlocks.
I love how this is playing out. I love it. Where are those people now?
No,
what do you guys think?
The thing is, we love it up here because we are able to recall these things, you know. They're in court, they're not. Who's highlighting them? To say that there was such a thing at some point. You guys, we said you were looking for someone with dreadlocks and you refuse
They did
that.
not even bring it up from accused number 1 when they took him home, Wanongoma, where they were searching his things there at home. They were actually looking for a picture of him in dreadlocks and they didn't find it. And that's when perhaps allegedly they moved to accused number 3. Lucky he had dreadlocks.
And
Bonus, he was wearing
one of the
khaki.
way the way that you're saying it. If it's said like that, it sticks. That's what you are pointing. Something that you have, and there are those lawyers. They have a right to do that. I don't know why being away, but few does it. Let me say few does it.
Only
Yeah.
Ngomezulu does it.
Not,
And
that's not. I'm not even. I don't want to put more pressure on Ngomezulu. Nisi, Ngomezulu. Oh, and Mshololo. Mshololo does it.
Mshololo does it. I put it to you. You understand? Oh, Ramsipila Gafunu put it to you.
No, it's fine. It's fine. They're saying it's
Okay,
a different.
I'm aware that the two were also used. I'm continuing to read Absalom Zungu's statement. I'm aware that the two were also used as hitmen, and their ringleader was one, Nkani Zungu of Sesotho area in Kwanongoma. However, he's currently in jail. I have further identified the photograph of Moses Bia to this, and I attach it together with the statement. I was not told by Mbegiseni as to why Moses Bia and Mafiga killed Senzo. After receiving the above information, I decided to tell my son, who is a police officer in Johannesburg, about the above information, and his name is Kumbuzo Zungu. Subsequent to that, I was then informed by Skumbuzo that we should go meet the police at the SAPS head office in Pretoria. Indeed, the police were met and I deposed of a statement above. And to Colonel Gininda, who was with Sergeant Mohani, I can identify Mafika to the police if I can see him, but I don't have his photos. That is all I can say for now.
Well,
And,
Gininda has it for you.
This is sounding more like hearsay, eh? Absalom phela akusuye that the confession was made to. Absalom uthuzwe ngombhekiseni. Absalom heard it from Bekisen. He is telling on his affidavit that he heard what he heard from Bekisen.
But it sounded like initially this is how this was presented. There was a fight that erupted from home, and then upon that fight there was such a talk.
Yes.
That was the
And
initial
he was there.
evidence, and he was there.
Absalom was there.
Absalom
Zungu's father was
there. And then now later, it is only today that we find out this was a narrated story from the Ntanzi's brother. You know, that's how good they are, these people. They make you believe a lot of things.
And another thing is that he's referring to Sizwe Zungu is now Skumbuzo Gemanje Skumbuzo Zungu, which is a name that I don't recall him putting there.
Skumbuzo Zungu, the son.
Yes, his father is referring to him as Skumbuzo Zungu.
I guess Skumbuzo, maybe. It's Sizwe Skumbuzo.
Well, the judge said the statement was commissioned by Brigadier Gininda on the 17th of November in 2019 at 16:25. Yes, and the one of Zungu, the son, was done as the trial was ongoing in 2023. Ne? Yes. So the judge said he knew Sosobala, and Gininda said he was a traditional healer who was famous. The judge said he could make a ball vanish. He said Ngumalo would be clued up about Sosobala since
Did
he's
you
from
actually
the
go through
homelands.
that process?
I didn't understand what context it was.
It just irritated me. I didn't even.
And Ramasipile asked for an adjournment, and the judge refused and said, "Let's push it to half past."
He wanted to actually agree to that, and then he realized they wasted a lot of time.
And once you hear the judge now wanting, Pella, the judge, when you are doing a good cross-examination, he's the one sometimes who asks.
You adjourns. He adjourns.
Once you hear him say, "Let's push it."
Start an argument and adjourn.
Let's take the course.
Yeah, guys, let's take the course. Yeah. But here, before we do that, I'm just gonna give you my prediction. My prediction is, I would put it in a score. It's almost, I would say, 5-1, 5-2. And if we were to close the case here and then just call everyone, the accused would go down. That's my 2 cents. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm just saying that's how it is. And those who are saying there is no evidence, this case was built on no evidence.
It's still currently being investigated as
Yes.
it is on trial.
And that was said on
evidence
purpose.
is mushrooming.
So
As
there
the trial is ongoing, the evidence is popping up.
there is basically nothing stopping these people from taking these guys down. Zansi, hello. Zansi, hello.
You know, I missed you guys so much. I'm so happy that I'm able to talk to you guys today. I guess today it's one of those days where as family, as siblings, you know, we are not agreeing, which is okay. It's healthy, you know, because disagreements also, you know, they bring us together because we, you know, they open up discussions for us to air our differences and just keep moving forward, right?
Yes.
The infamous investigating officer's language insofar as, you know, you know, yesterday, because you guys started a bit late and you were tired, you know, you didn't really many calls as we usually do. So my comments today will actually be about stuff from yesterday as well. So please forgive me if you guys feel like I'm just a little bit behind and just all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really, I guess I understand where you guys are coming from in terms of the comments that you've made about Steve Harvey, right? Because past behavior is a good predictor for future behavior, right?
Yeah.
I guess we've observed how Steve Harvey has been moving since the beginning of the trial, and I myself actually spoke up and you know and criticized him and how he does his cross examination. And one of the things that I raised was that he makes good points, but he doesn't like finish things off by driving the point home. Like when he starts, you kind of have an idea of where he wants to go, but then when you think that he will drive the point home and just put the nail to the coffin, he just leaves things hanging, right? That's one of the things that I've actually criticized him for doing in the past. But, you know, I guess where I'm at right now, you know, I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and just say, you know what, let's see where he goes, all right? So I don't really want to, I'm a bit conflicted. So I'm not going to really say much about what I'm thinking and where my mind is at right now as far as he's concerned. But I think it's a kind of wait and see for me. So let's see how things go in the next couple of days. Okay. And also, in my opinion, based on my observations of him, I think he also has some kind of speech deficiency, if I may put it that way, lack of better word. He stutters a lot, and I think it's because he stutters a lot, and based on my observation of people that I've also seen who've got that challenge as well, they may come across as if they are timid or they're scared or something like that, and because they shake when they you know, because of the anxiety of not being able to bring the words out of their mouths that they want to say because of the deficiency. You know what I mean? Like in his mind, I think he knows what he wants to say, but because of the stuttering, he then struggles to bring the words out of his mouth. And then because of the anxiety, because he's on TV and everybody's watching him, he then starts to shake it because of the anxiety, not because he's timid and he's not a good lawyer, right? So I'll speak from that perspective and just give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, going to this infamous investigating officer, you know, my abhorrence for this man grows every day. I never thought that in my life I would actually hate someone that I've never met, that I don't know. And hate is a strong word, but I hate him. My abhorrence grows every day. I don't like him. He is pissing on us every day and telling us that it's raining. Okay? Day before yesterday, I think he said something about Tumelo not being a firearm expert. And then he's never owned a gun, so he wouldn't know anything about the fact that the weapon is .38 special. Emily, I may not, for example, Emily, I may not be a snake catcher or an expert on snakes, but if I see a snake and I describe it to a snake catcher or a ranger, because they're an expert, Emily, they should be able to know or have an idea of what type of snake I'm talking about, right? If Tumelo's exactly, if Tumelo's description of the firearm is irrelevant, okay, then the description of the person who saw dreadlocks and hoodies should also be null and void, because that person is not an expert on how robbers dress, right?
Yes.
Because then, what's his name? You know, who's able to see people in the dark, and he's also even able to identify the height it's about to, and the age, and the fact that they've got gold teeth in the middle of the night. So if this Makekele's statement or whatever is relevant, then why shouldn't Tumelo's description of the firearm be relevant? I mean, it just boggles my mind. Then, you know, he also said, you know, when he also made an analogy about being robbed, and then he talked about 4 DNA markers on a fingerprint or something like that. You know, Emily, when that man made that analogy, I just wanted to punch my TV. I screamed so loud to a point where my DNA housemates were actually shocked that, you know, I'm making so much noise. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, Emily, you can claim to have been robbed, okay? You can give evidence and say, I was robbed, and you can describe the persons who robbed you. But then it is the responsibility of the cops to do their job, to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the persons that you described are the perpetrators of the crime, right?
Yes.
So if the theory is that you were robbed, right? The theory is that you were robbed. This theory needs to be tested, right?
Yes.
So I'll explain it from a scientific perspective, because that's my background, right? So there's a null hypothesis and there's an experimental hypothesis. If the theory is that a robbery happened, you were robbed, the null hypothesis, which is the defense, the defense will say, my client did not rob anybody, right?
Yes.
And then the experimental hypothesis, which is a claim that is made by the state, is that your client committed the robbery, right?
Yes.
And then we do the investigation, which is the experiment. We test the hypotheses, right?
Yes.
And investigation will then include a DNA, okay?
Yes.
And then if the p-value is not significant, it means that the null hypothesis is supported.
Yes.
So we then reject the experimental hypothesis.
Yeah.
We then say, my client did not rob, right? That is science.
Yeah.
So in this case, if the DNA, which is your ANOVA or whatever you use to test, right?
Yes.
Is these 5 guys are excluded, it means that we reject the defense, the state's
hypothesis.
claim that these guys were there, right? So now my thing, then if Gininda can say, even though DNA has excluded these guys, it does not mean that they did not commit the crime. Then it means forensics doesn't help or it is irrelevant. So we might as well then just shut the entire forensic department down there. Let's shut it down. If science is not going to help us, let's shut it down. Because then it's useless, right?
Yeah.
And then you talked about this lady that I don't want to mention her name because she irritates the living daylights out of me. Okay? You mentioned something about a comment that she made about, I think it was a statement that was read in court or text messages that she was sending to her sister or something like that. Yeah. And in one of those messages, she said she is seen as someone who is wrecking a marriage. Is this woman delusional? She's definitely wrecked. She was wrecking a marriage because she was with a man who was married, right? So, this girl, you know, and the way she talks about the deceased mother, you know, who just fell from a tree, also and gave her to Baba who have a culture. You know what I mean? She sounds like a very uncultured woman who she just fell from a tree somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, we are here because people like her are holding back the truth.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because the situation would end in 5 seconds if this woman would just come and tell us the truth as to what happened in that entire house. And you know what? This is my opinion and not of the channel, just to get it very clear. But shame on her and her mother and everybody else who was in that house. And let it be a lesson to all South Africans who value themselves and who have self-respect for themselves. When you are at certain levels in your life, you cannot continue dragging people along with you from your past.
Eesh. Okay?
When you get to certain levels in your life, there are people that you just need to drop. We have been conditioned as Batubaba Ntuhore. You know, when you keep going back to your roots and dragging people in your past, it is a sign, Yabutu, Ubuntu, Kibutu, you're remembering where you come. But sometimes you get to your roots, that is your downfall. So let us always evaluate our lives and ask ourselves, where I'm at right now in my life, everything else that I've been dragging with me, is it relevant to where I am? And this should include the friendships, our relatives, people we grew up with. Sometimes we just need to let some people go. If this young, I'm sorry, people say don't talk bad about the deceased persons or anything like that, but I'm saying that sometimes when you are propelled to glory, it's possible that you may not make wise decisions. And this young man was holding on to that thing, to his remembering from where he's coming from. And he dragged people along that he should have left long time ago. People who couldn't even buy themselves the bus ticket. He continued to hold on to this. And now these people can't even open their mouths and tell the truth about what happened to you. And it is very sad. Let us not just sit here every night and discuss this case, but let us look at this case and say, what can we learn as people from this situation? Okay, that's how I'm going to end it tonight. I love you guys so much. I support you. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. You keep doing what you're doing and stay in your lane and watch the channel grow. And to all the viewers, thank you very much for your contribution every night. We appreciate you. I love you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wabana, that last section, that last motivation there. It's true though. It's true.
Yeah.
As you propel up, sometimes you have to let certain people go.
Unfortunately.
Especially
it's
the
very
ones
unfortunate that you have to go through that because, you know, you
that
look at other people, other nations, such as for example, Indians. They drag each other up. well, we
With
on
us,
the other arts, it's unfortunate.
Motu couldn't even buy themselves a bus ticket to come and see you, and you're holding on to that person.
Mzansi, hello. Let us keep it short. Mzansi, hello.
Okay. Hello, guys. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay. How are you guys?
Yeah, doing great.
From my side now, concerning to that matter of a cell phone, I think, I don't know, but I've got that strong feeling that if those guys, they can bring Kelly Khumalo now, Kelly Khumalo will dispute everything, including the cell phone, that he never lost any cell phone. I've got that strong feeling now that he will dispute all of those things. And if they will do so, the case is over.
Yeah, you're right. Because he never reported it lost in any case.
He never. Thank you.
No.
I think it's time those guys, the defense, they have to think about that, because Baloi knew it that we're gonna throw Kelly Khumalo under the bus and not call her to the stand.
Yes, they are saying, others are saying that it was what do they say? But yeah, you are right.
It's a plan, not to call it. So now they are afraid. And Kelly Khumalo, looking at Kelly Khumalo now, I'm sure he's hungry to go into that stand and show them. Because he knows that the whole country is against her now. So you need to go and explain that this is not my phone number. I never lost a phone, etc., etc.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you for keeping it short. Also, thank you. Unet besvula ngai. So, and she did say that day.
For yesterday, because yesterday we decided to go on long, and,
guys,
and not
keep calling.
give enough time.
Keep calling, but just give each other time, like this one, this caller, and obvious, we know that we owe you for yesterday. You wanted to vent also yesterday. Mzansi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Ngiyaphila njani?
Siyaphila nathi njomane.
Kuhle manphila. I wanted to just say good to you. There's actually a lot of gaps within investigation, Gininda, because I'm just thinking to myself, Kumbe, who was the person he said described 3 people standing or sitting by the danger box smoking?
Makeleni.
That's how we got the description of the second intruder or something like that.
That was Makeleni.
Yes, it's Makeleni.
So I'm just thinking to myself, because he's such a collaboration person, why didn't he think at some point there were 3 people who were in the house who said they did go outside and they did have a smoke? Why didn't he think maybe he may have seen abantu who were, the people that were in the house, maybe they were the ones who were smoking, because at the end of the day, he didn't know them. You know what I'm saying? Could have just seen 3 men smoking. Yeah, but and like a description, the initial one, like smooth, like
the what do we call it? The tooth issue. Yeah. He had it, right?
Did he have a gold tooth?
I think so. I think so.
Yes.
But you see, Menjoman, sorry to disturb you. You see why I'm saying why I'm not happy, because what you are saying is what I've been saying. But it's not put there in court. Gininda is just cruising nicely with his theory.
And he's cruising, Nick. He's cruising, because I'm just thinking he likes to link like 2 events that, but basically saying things can't be a coincidence. That's what I'm getting from majority of his evidence. But I mean, they did say why is this description now being used of someone who wasn't even inside the house? Like it's a bit difficult. And also another thing that I found quite, I don't know if I should say ironic, is that in as much as they weren't able to fully describe the second accused, in the drawing itself, the initial one, the second accused has the most detailed facial descriptions as opposed to the first intruder that everyone could describe. How did that even happen if, let's just say, no one could describe the second intruder? But Mobuga ama identikit, that's the one, in terms of the drawing, he has the most facial features, but we to be described. Like, collaboration, like, why couldn't he think ukuthi, but why is that even happening? No, they can't talk about guns because they are not experts, but it doesn't take you to be an expert to say, I saw this and this and that. I even made an example to say, if I saw someone with the phone and the phone had an Apple icon, emuva, I can say, I saw this person's phone, it was silver, and it had something that looked like an apple behind it. I don't know exactly what it is, but when, as a cell phone expert, 1 and 2 should ring, which it was probably an iPhone. Yes. But why would you rule out the description I just gave you and say, nah, I think it was a Samsung. You're not a cell phone expert. You know, like, does that make sense?
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, those are just like some of the things. There's so many people went out of the house multiple times, you know, longer being inside the house when the scuffle thing was happening, but at the same time he wasn't there. Oh, and also another thing I was thinking about is Longo's phone. There's a bit of an inconsistency with regards to his phone, because at one point he said he had his phone, then at another point he said he didn't have his phone. But what does the evidence say?
That's why he's not in court. That's why he's not going to be coming to court.
It's very frustrating, because now Gininda is saying, no, all the cell phones were there. But then one can argue to say, but then Longo said, he ran out of the house. So why, at what point does his phone collaborate so they were all together in one place, then in another place they weren't there? And if he did indeed run away without his phone, at what point did he come back to have his phone pinged again? Did he leave on foot? Did he leave moto? Like, which one is it? You know, so yeah, some of the inconsistencies or the things that I feel like he didn't, as an investigator, he didn't like nail on, like, you know. Yeah.
Unfortunately, this case has turned out to be a case of proving, and the defense now needs to prove, in my opinion. So those are things that they need to ask when Andrew, man. That I've been saying. That's why I'm not happy, because if you don't ask those things, I'm telling you, those guys are going down.
The case itself, and also some of the things that the eyewitnesses are saying, be it like the people that were inside the house, be it that it was the people that were outside of the house, be it that it's even, who's that guy, Zungu guy, or whatever, it's contradicting the initial confession itself, which is the craziest part to me, because that's the one thing that should collaborate every piece of or every single piece of evidence that they've investigated, but it contradicts it so much. So it's like, it does, in my opinion, favor Lenjogus, this is made up. You know, the confessions are made up, because that's the one piece of evidence that should be like, it links to this and that, of which it doesn't. So, yeah, it's just some of the things that I'm just observing, and I'm very, I mean, these Hugi Lenjogus, the case has made it this far with such lack of evidence, you know, concrete evidence, you know, for that matter. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents for today.
Thank you, Manjuman.
All right, bye.
Yeah, we gave you too much airtime. You were on point, and yeah, Ned talking about the hypothesis. It seems as if law does not have.
It seems like there's no hypothesis in law.
There's no hypothesis in law. Even 2% of DNA counts in law. That's how it is, basically, in that court. But hey, look,
but
guys,
do you realize that the only thing solid they have left that
is a bullet.
The accused is the confession?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Because everything is hearsay evidence. This Absalom hearsay evidence.
But the bullet. What about the bullet?
The bullet.
People forget about the bullet that has been, in a sense, the expert came to confirm that was a bullet on the scene.
But that bullet there's no confirmation on whether it is the one that took the deceased life or not. There's 2 bullets.
What confirmation?
What
They
do you
confirmed. They are saying that's a bullet. It
How
hits the
did they
door
confirm?
after. They were explaining after it perforated the accused. It hits
But
the
how
door
do you do that
and
if
spin.
when you don't even allow the forensic pathologist to explain what kind of bullet could have went through the deceased? How does...
But I can tell you now that bullet is evidence and it's against accused number
Did
3.
it have blood on it?
That is immaterial at this point in time because. But that bullet, we can laugh about it, but honestly speaking, that bullet is evidence according to that judge. Mzansi, hello.
Anizano.
Hey, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, thanks. Hi, Sisemedi.
Hi.
Good, thanks. Anizano, I just have got a few points from the proceedings. I know I'm also not 100% happy with Mr. Ramsepele, but I actually wanted that statement from Absalom Zungu to be read in totality, so that at least we can have an idea on where the story came from. And now I'm happy that I can see the brother Bontanzi is the one who is allegedly to have snitched, but you can see it's just a family problem here that ended up being in court, and I don't know if this student knows what is hearsay evidence, because when they ask you about hearsay evidence, it goes on and on and on and explaining. But the fact is, the people who had the problem never came to court. That Ntanzi brother never came to court. That Absalom Zungu never came to court. But you are saying that is your main basis for coming and attacking. Yeah, so I don't get it when Gininda goes on and on about it. But in my initial my initial answer was like, oh, this guy, he took the story from Ntanzi's brother and then he took it to his son. Double hearsay, and all those sections, they must be expunged from the record because they are all hearsay. All of them. So that's one. That's what I was saying. At least I was happy that the statement was read. And if possible, I don't know when Zungu Absalom must come to court and they must interrogate him about it. And if this brother refuses or refutes what is being on that statement, then we are done, finished. Because it seems like he's the source of the story. If he comes and says, no, I never said that, then that's it. We are done. And then the other point, Mr. Anu, is the investigating officer keeps on saying he has got a link of Kelly and accused 3 on the cell phone record.
Yeah.
Mate, never was there any evidence laid that shows that there was a cell phone call. It's very simple, this thing. I don't know why the IO want to make it difficult. Remember, accused 3's phone, section 205, they have it. Then they must just go on the day of the incident and show us the phone call that he received or he called to get. Why? Because it doesn't matter if Kelly did not disclose the 5 numbers. Because in any case, to me, I find it very unreasonable that Kelly will be said she was having 6 numbers into one day. What do you do with 6 numbers? What is reasonable is 2 phones or 3 phones. I can accept, but anything above 3, I don't accept it. Right. So why does it even take? And my suggestion, you see, in this court, we've got a tendency of, can you please give us this, and we forget about it, and then 2 years later we remember that we asked this thing. No, they must have a tracker of everything that is requested. That can you do this? They must put it on a tracker on the date that is put, and then they must also have a date when it was submitted, so that we know that this was requested when, and this is when it was given. Because I'm telling you, they keep on saying there is a phone record from Kelly and Agizri. There is none. I can tell you, there is only 2 phone calls that Stain testified about Kelly. They were from Agizri 5, August and October. That was it. And they ended up saying it's WhatsApp calls or it's DDM, whatever. I don't know.
That's
but
why they are
those are the
going
only
with
calls that
accused number 3.
they did spoke about.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I have to repeat my statement that I've done before, Mr. Arno. There is no one who go to jail for having a plastic bag of money that is similar on my phone and on your phone. There is no one that can go to jail for that, because it doesn't prove that. Do you pay people by showing them a picture? No, you don't. You need to go to the bank statement and show that there was a withdrawal of 100,000, and the 100,000 is the one that is in the plastic bag, and then you paid these guys. But if you don't have a source of the money, and who came to pick the bag? The investigative, did you do that? And it's just a hogwash, this one. and I know, Mr. I was also not happy with the defense for the past few days. I haven't been happy with them, but I'm happy that in some instances, special document, they must come and be read. Because I don't know why Baloy does not call those people. And then we all agree. The description, they keep on changing. And you can see now, you see how it's coming up. They even took Ntanzi's ID and sent a picture to East London to put dreadlocks. And it looks like everyone then was having dreadlocks. Remember, accused 3 is the one that they are saying is the one who was in front, accused one with dreadlocks.
Yes.
On the picture, even suppose that they had dreadlocks. And now Ntanzi is even putting also dreadlocks. So does it mean both of them had dreadlocks?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them. 3 of them.
That's just my 2 cents. Thanks, Nizam.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Shing. Yeah, that's Australia, all the way from Australia. Right. It is that way, but I like how people are raising these things. And that's what all I want is that. You see how we are emphasizing it here. If this was the court,
I wish it was happening in that court.
It will be recorded. Now, if it's not emphasized... But this thing of sponging the information forget, because what is going to happen is that already Ramsipi is going to be calling all these people that were not called. So eventually it's not going to be hearsay.
Yeah.
Mzansi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I hope I'm in the right number. Is this Mzansi Reality?
Yes, you are there.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't work it out. Hi, it's Bree, and thank you for the show today. I could feel my heart. I just felt so invested in it today. I'll try and quick. I guess for me, what I've been noticing is for Rams especially, a lot of what Gininda was saying was everything was based on statements, and if that's all he's bringing up, that's kind of where they have to go. And I don't know if it's a great tactic or not, but I guess it's that thing. It just diminishes what they say. For a lot of things, we've all been wondering, what has this guy been investigating? He's supposed to be a seasoned, investigating officer, whatever you name it, brigadier. But he will tell you statements. And then we're finding some of them are like triple hearsay. We're not seeing any analysis of the evidence. For me, I watch now and again, but I always come back to your videos, and it kind of catches me up. And I keep thinking, hold on, we've had people like Kuntabi saying, who said, I was outside, there's a period of time she's outside, but she only says she sees 3 people. Fine. We can say it might be those guys who ran out. But we've also got Ulongwe, who's supposed to have run out. So she somehow is selective choosing who she sees. So already that's showing she's not a reliable witness, or they're covering for Longwe. The other thing is you've got, I kept thinking, actually the other neighbor as well said, I can't remember, was it Tumelo Mtogo, jumped over and jumped back. And my question is, okay, so there was a guy outside the window who, who accused 4, and there's also accused 1 at the gate. So all these people are happy to watch one person run out, and now they jump back, and they do nothing. And there's no way they're not armed. It just doesn't make sense. So they can do all this. You've also got this issue of, Gininda constantly saying collaborate. And honestly, I'm starting to think this man doesn't know what this word means, or he was given this word by Ubaloyi and he's just throwing it there.
because he's consistent, because as we've all listened to him read, oh my God, the man, I want to be kind and assume he's got dyslexia, but the man does not read to a reading capacity of someone who you're expecting to even be at undergrad, even as a mature student. It is painful to listen to him read. And so I asked myself, when he writes this statement, which language does he think in? Because he wants to talk, but you almost feel like he thinks in another language, but wants to talk in English because someone has this view that speaking in English means you're intelligent. It's not. There's also this issue of I was trying to understand Urata today when he said 375 is still being investigated, blah, blah, blah. But we're watching Gininda still investigating when I'm going to say it wrong now. Is this 363?
375.
No. The current one that they're doing.
636.
That's it. He's still investigating for that one. But if he's so confident he's found the people, why is he still investigating? So in a way, I felt like, well, then it never ends, his investigating, which is why probably everyone keeps dying. And I also then thought, how is it the spaza shop, no one was walking in and out? I mean, was it still a functioning spaza house? Because the way that they say it was quiet, and this is like 8 p.m. in October, the sun's setting a bit later, people can see there was just so many things, but people always touch on different things. But I just feel like, in a way, Rams has to keep going on those statements and keep showing all the holes in this case, because really that's all the state has, and it's just so disappointing that taxpayers' money have paid these people to do this, bring it to court, and this is all they bring. It's such a terrible misuse of justice and taxpayers' money. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, just that I don't think it was a sponsor shop. It was just written sponsorship. They had to go buy soup outside, right? They would have taken it from the shop if it was
there, but they had to go outside.
I don't think it was a sponsor shop.
Outside,
it was just painted like that. Yeah, guys, let's push the like. Those who are happy to like, guys. I'm just gonna be cautious. We had an argument. Let's push the like though. We had disagreement. Yes, but let's push the like if you still believe in this channel.
Even if we disagree, we press the like button.
Yes.
We do. We do press the like button even though we disagree. We are a family.
Yeah, we still push the like button. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right, and then Makola Signature Konavitosor, Tinaja Pela, we do what we do, and there is no malicious intentions. We just do it verbatim as
we corroborate.
Right. This is where I encourage people. Please just like the video. Share. Thank you very much for being with us. Chukwanda, thank you for being with us. Sandra Zulu, thank you for being with us. Nat, thank you for being with us. Tumi, Modisa, thank you for being with us. Mbongeni Msomi, thank you for being with us. Zoto Adlamini, thank you for being with us. Musa Panda, thank you for being with us. Sibabalwe, thank you for being with us. Mbasi, thank you for being with us, our member. Bree, that's called now. The one, thank you for being with us. Dipuo, thank you for being with us. Mami Funeka, thank you for being with us. Siba, thank you for being with us. And we had let me see, Laura, thank you for being with us. Bonseni, thank you for being with us. T-Man, thank you for being with us. Let's see. Mzansi, hello.
Good morning, Mzansi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, man.
Yes, sir. It's
Danny, man, from Ramsey.
Okay, Danny?
Yes.
Danny, all right.
My opinion, yes. I sent you something on WhatsApp. It's a picture of some sort. You might make sense out of it.
Yeah, yes. I saw it.
Yes. But my input is that I feel like Mr. If I was in Tanzi, I'll feel like I'm not being represented well because my feeling is like I'll feel like I'm going down because Mr. Ramsipil doesn't tie investigating the Gininda, on the tree. Like if I give you a figure speech, like if you want to kill a car, you don't put it on a long leash and stuff like that. You have to tie him down with questions.
Yeah.
And then when you find that he gets him in the corner, he lets him loose. He must get him to concede that he is wrong or he doesn't have evidence and put it on record. Like, for instance, when he said Kelly wanted to end Senzo, whatever, is this basis of the case. So he said, but when he reads, you find that Kelly wanted to end the relationship. He never said through an SMS that he didn't go through.
Yeah.
He never said, I want to get rid of this man, like meaning killing him or something like So you must put it to him. That's when I remember Barry Root to say, he puts it to you that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Easy. That's when you see Oscar was in deep trouble. But Barry Root tried to pull him out.
Mitigate the situation.
Yes.
Yes. And then the other thing was the on his slide, Mr. Ntanzi, when they went to go to the doctor and try to look if he had a gold tooth and stuff like
that. Yeah.
But he doesn't get the investigator, the officer to concede that they were wrong when it comes to this one. He just let it loose as if like he doesn't tie it down to say. It's like it's sort of like he doesn't connect the doors. He lets the judge connect the dots for him. Because this judge, he's not going to. That's why if you go back, they just said, I want you guys, the defense, you don't put anything to these guys. Initially, way back, if you remember, you say, you defense, you don't put anything, you don't put your version or whatever. What is your case? What is your defense?
Yeah.
But those things are not being put to the investigation officer to say, yes, I concede here I was wrong.
Yeah.
Again, the third point being the DNA also. So you must say throughout throughout your investigation, is it your evidence that the 2% is enough to link these people? That guy said, 2% according to him is, let him put it verbally on record.
Yeah.
The third point again is the money back thing, the photo in the phone and stuff like that. That's the basis of the case.
Yeah.
They should make him concede that he's wrong. He doesn't have evidence. When he said, we've got other evidence, you pack the case and so, no, we're waiting. I can't continue, my lord. We're waiting for this extra information to prove that this bag of mine is a proof that these people, where this guy was killed, and then this is a payment. Yeah.
No, thank you.
So I feel like unless if he doesn't recover, the defense must. I don't know, but he likes packing stuff to say, I'll pack it, I'll argue, I'll put it for argument and stuff like.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't. If I was accused, I feel like if it was possible, I had the resources, I'll fire this lawyer. That's my, because I feel like frustrated. This man is not. What is the purpose of going through all these narrations and stuff? When you put the person in the corner, you don't kill him. You just leave him loose.
Yeah.
So that's my input. Yeah, I feel like I was yesterday and today. I feel like my spirit is a bit down because I don't feel he's not a defense lawyer, maybe a pastor or something. I don't.
Yeah. No, we had you. Thank you.
Okay, that was my input. Thanks.
Thank you, Danny. Right. Ben Hugh. That's the name of someone who's in there. Thank you for the call. Thank you also for being here on the chats. Zodo Dlamini, our member, Mtokozi Silanga. Thank you for pushing the likes. Let's push the likes, guys. Thank you for reminding us to remind people to push the likes. Musa, I've mentioned you. Let's see who. Ignitia, thank you for being with us. Black Boy, T-Man, thank you for being with us. Sponge C, thank you for being with us. Let's see who is not mentioned. That is here. I've mentioned you. Archie, I've mentioned Archie. Yes, I've mentioned you now. If I haven't before, let's see who else. Busison Lovu, I've mentioned. Sandile Zulu, I've mentioned. And Shanjiwe Sibanda, thank you. Kwelagiti, thank you. Samora, thank you. Sizwe 18, thank you, our member. Thank you, Sizwe, being a regular. Let's see. Yeah, going down. Sebi, thank you. Tumimo Dis, I've mentioned you. Just going through these very quickly, guys. Bear with me as I finish. Paul Manjani, thank you. Nkosnati Zagwe, our member, thank you. Lord, I've mentioned you. Tibel, our member, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you very much. And CN Poka, thank you. Hallelujah. Yes, Mora Porsche Magamba. Thank you for being with us. The C Puleng, thank you for being with us. Kule M, thank you for being with us. Victor, thank you for being with us. Let's see. Tembelani Kanye, thank you for being with us. Bongseni Masilela, thank you for being with us. Zakel Esbia, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. We are happy you are with us and you chose us. You didn't sleep. You just said, I'm waiting for these people. I hope.
Yes.
Highly appreciate that.
We are pushing.
We are pushing. We are behind this.
Despite the subsequent to that.
Subsequently, we are going to.
As
Lesedi, thank you for being with us.
Corroborate.
We are going to collaborate as much as we can also from this side.
All the time.
As we're supposed to do. I mean, that's
we
our
are
job.
YouTube experts.
Yes, analyst, if you like, whatever.
Being declared by the judge.
Commentators. Shau, thank you for being with us. Verbatism, yes. Oh God. Oh God, we do. Laura, thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gift. We do qualify. You don't need to be an expert. And let's push the like button. Lungsane, Thorn, Love, thank you for being with us. Sila, last corner, guys. Sfiso Sindane, Siabonga, thank you. This is where we are at. And manje buka nje sesiphume cold drink. Thank you, Lady C. Thank you. Ebanda mpo a cold drink from Ulola. Siabonga. We appreciate you. And manje guys, not the other day, Mr. Anonymous. Hey, bagithi mina ngikangazi ke nokuthi khona abanye odeni bagithi ngibuza nje. Uyabona dlawo. Hayi kanjalo. Puleng. Thank you for being with us. Hey, my daughter. I say Vale Emily. Busisiwe Kalambe. Say Vala. Izohlangana kusasa namhlanje. By the way, let me just put this. We are going to go through I think the so-called Mapiri's interview. So many people wanted us to talk about. We are going to talk about it. Remember, we always go through things slowly.
Mapiri's interview.
Langzem.
Family is asking for our opinions and our analysis of Mapiri's so-called interview. Okay.
No one lives to tell the tale. Okay, asivale la bafowethu siyabonga kakhulu Ansike Moyo. We miss Ansike Moyo. This is Mtozisi. Yes, we do. We do. It's been a while. Ansike Moyo is probably busy
with other things.
How's yes. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you and ungibekezelele nje izogcina ihlangane lento Mandla Mlangeni siyabonga sibongile Mlangeni izelamani nangu Mandla Mlangeni nosibongile Mlangeni bayalandelana. Thank you ihlobo hope anitukelananga yeah. That's it. Ngiyayivala mina bafethu Boyitumelo MC Master. Yeah, ngivala ngaye eXhaphozini. Bani eXhaphozini. Ivala kanjalo ke. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you guys. See you later.